Jessica Bates, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing so. It's Bates, right?
No S.
Bate.
Bate.
God, I had it.
It's okay.
Terrible person.
I always tell everybody it's not the Bates Motel.
It's not the Bates. Is that an important motel?
That's a horror thing.
It's a horror thing?
Yeah, like scary. Bates Motel.
I got really terrified. I thought you said a horror. I was like, whoa. Whoa, this conversation took a turn real fast.
No. Like
horror.
Like
okay.
movie, scary
like,
movie.
What film? Like Vertigo or something? Like old school films?
No, and now I'm going to sound like an idiot because I said it.
It's okay. Bates Motel, Scary Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of I want to say it's a Stephen King movie.
Well, he did a lot of those. He had some incredible stories, but one that I just could never get behind. I remember seeing a portion of the film where it's like the trucks had a mind of their own and they like took over and were like running people over, like big like semi-trailers, like tractor trailers. And I don't know, is this Stephen King? Listen, not everything can be a home run. Sometimes you got to take a single
kind of person and that's it.
Yeah, dude, they were some crazy horror movies. You remember like Puppet Master and all those like random old school horror movies from back in the day?
No, because I didn't start watching horror movies till about 15 years ago. And I'm not young.
Did you ever watch any? Dude, I saw this. I was walking downtown to get this coffee at like the Sunshine Cafe right around the corner, and there's a toy store apparently right next to it. And I only realized that because I looked over and there was the face hugger from the Aliens movie and the giant egg.
Yep. Nope.
I was like, what the hell is that?
Because those are toys now.
Dude, it's life size. It's life size. So like the egg was literally like 3 feet off the ground, and the face hugger is like jumping. You've seen the Alien movies, right?
I've seen one.
Which one?
The very first one.
Dude, you gotta watch number 2.
I'm not a
you gotta watch number 2
unless it's vampires.
Dude, Ridley Scott, the director, Sigourney Weaver, they did such a good job of having that gritty metallic set. Anyway, listen, how do we get? Listen to me. You and I. What a weird way to start. Listen, you and I got connected because I had I can do this. Commander, I'm going to screw it up. Nick Edwards.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's like a 3-word acronym, or it's a 3-word thing. Something Command Major.
Sergeant Major, maybe?
Command Sergeant Major. Yes.
Was it? Is
yes.
that CSM?
I believe so. Nick Edwards on. He's also the ICAT commander for the State Attorney General's office. I've had him on for a number of different things, and it's really important that people understand how much the National Guard nationally has become utilized for overseas deployments, for different campaigns that you would not anticipate. And what's really unique about that is if you marry a serviceman or woman and they're engaged in, let's say they're in the Army or they're in the Marines, it's like, listen, this is part of what you're marrying into, and you know what's coming. If you have a spouse or significant other or somebody who engages in the National Guard, you're not anticipating the same kinds of things, because the nature of the National Guard is like, we're kind of like, we focus on our borders and we're, kind of reservist people. My dad was in the Army right out of high school, but then also in the National Guard. And it's like, okay, it's like, so 1 weekend a month he'd be gone, and then like 1 week a year, but the National Guard has become something different. It's being utilized differently. And the support required for those families that were not anticipating this has also become something that's very important. I wanted to understand what programs were available, and you are part of that.
Yes.
Right? The Morale, Welfare, and Recreation,
Yep.
MWR.
Yep.
Talk to me about this organization and who you help, what the focus is. Let's go from there.
Okay. So MWR, Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, is a very big umbrella. Our MWR program is kind of a unicorn in the MWR world because we are a completely nonprofit entity. So we're self-sustaining. And what we do is we have several lines of business that make up the MWR. We have a settler market, which is like a BX. And it's
when you say a BX, what's
it's
a BX?
like a store.
Okay, great.
So it's like, it's like a convenience store, but bigger.
Okay.
But it also has a coffee shop. We have our own liquor store. We have a cafe that's open during the lunch hour. And then we also have a barber shop. So that's in the settler market. And then we have Settler Store, which is out at Orchard Combat Training Center. So it's an extension of the market. It doesn't have all those things, but it's another convenience store for everybody that's training out at the range.
And those proceeds and profits go to the MWR.
They are the, yeah.
They go to funding the programs you guys do through that.
So, and then we also have a restaurant and a bar and an event venue, and that's called the Rally Point Club and Events. And then we also, under the MWR, have fam camp or RV camping, and we have RV storage. And you obviously have to be able to gain access or have access to gallon filled to use all of those things. And then our profits at the end of the day, once we've paid all of our overhead and all of our employees, we put those into proceeds accounts. And those proceeds accounts help with, and it's Army, Air, Reserve, anything IMD. Well, anything Idaho National Guard and or veterans and retirees. And so we help do like unit events. We help families in need. We help Family Day. We do Operation Iraqi Freedom 20-year reunion. Like we do all kinds of, hey, this family, you know, they lost somebody, so can you help with this? Or that kind of thing. So our proceeds are not appropriated funds. We earn them all and we push them back out. One of my favorite events of the year is, we call it Camo Christmas, and it is the Veterans Home. We do, then the Idaho National Guard, the base comes together and does that. We create little tags, put them on a Christmas tree, and we push it out to gallon filled. And then, and to everybody, actually, we push it out on our website and then do an all calm to gallon filled. And then everybody comes in and grabs tags, and they help support the Christmas for our veterans that are in the Veterans Home. We help support and family services with backpack drives, all kinds of stuff. Like my team likes to say, I don't say no to anything, which is 99.8% true.
God, man. So
we do a lot.
There's a lot there. You're running actual enterprises that have to drive profit, and that profit gets spun off for a very good purpose.
Yep.
But like, who's running all these businesses?
So I have our program. So I'm the director of the program. And then I have a retail manager. She runs the 2 stores. And then I have an events manager / operations manager / bar manager. She also does our marketing. She does all of those things. And then I have a kitchen manager. So between the 3 of them and myself, we cover it all. Like, we currently have 25 employees that cover all these different lines of business. And then I also have my admin. She covers and takes care of the fam camp and the RV storage.
Gosh, man. Okay. So that's amazing. One of the big things that I've been talking to a lot of people about nonprofits, and they're obviously important. And the difficulty of, okay, do you have something that supports itself, or are you completely beholden? Like, I was having breakfast with somebody this morning, and we're talking about the nature of trying to have an operation that really runs off of like people liking you.
Yep.
And it's like, oh,
it's hard.
It's a really bad position to be in, because then if you can't keep your doors open if people don't like you, then the only thing that you need to do is get people to like you, right?
Or you dissolve.
Right? You have to have something that's valuable, and there are nonprofit organizations, obviously, that have compelling charters, right? And so it's like, okay, I don't generate money with this, but like, if you appropriate, let's say $10,000, and like Jesse Tree is one of them that seems very compelling to me, which is, and I had, come on now, Representative Ali Rabi on several times, and she is, I think, the executive director of Jesse Tree. She's up there, but she's like, look, we are designed to help people not fall into homelessness in like this one foul swoop. She's like, we know that if people fall into homelessness, it's going to end up costing something like $20,000 between safety nets, getting them back up. They have if you never fall into homelessness, you're not going to stay homeless. If you fall into homelessness, you have a probability, be it large or small, that you will continue to be homeless, right? Like, so we have all these things. She's like, if for every $2,000 we spend, we save the communities $20,000 in these safety net programs, and we prevent people from becoming homeless ever. Right. I think they have something like a 95% probability that if they scoop somebody out of, or scoop and save somebody right before they fall into homelessness by helping them like bridge essentially a 60-day gap in funding and, whatever crisis they're going through, 95% of those people never become homeless. So it's like they fall, you get a divorced family, you get a single parent who's like gets sick or loses a job, and they're like right on the edge. They're like only 2 weeks ahead of their rent, and they lose a job, and they're trying to get additional jobs. If they fall into homelessness in that 2 week time frame when their rent is due, it's really bad. But if you help them bridge that gap, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we save money. So even with Jesse Tree, you have this ROI that you wouldn't anticipate out of a nonprofit. But it's like, we'll save the community money, and therefore we ask the community for a little support.
And that's how we are.
Right. But you guys are even better because you're like, look, do you want to buy the coffee? Because you buy the coffee, it's a $4 coffee, but $1 of that's going to go to this thing over here.
And
so
that's
it's like,
exactly. And that's the other thing. So I spend a lot of my time reaching out to community partners. I call them mission partners, right? And saying, so like the 20-year reunion of Iraqi Freedom, of Operation Iraqi Freedom, that happened last year. And we had Idaho National Guard was the main body of that. So they needed to have or wanted to have a 20-year reunion. Well, that costs money. Like no matter what, that costs money. Okay. We were not in a position where the MWR could just say, here you go, but it also, but we still help. So even if financially I can't just hand them the money to do whatever it is that needs to be done, then what I do is partner with them or go out and find mission partners who will help finance or help fund or help Hayden Beverage. They donated their venue that they have. So we work with the community a lot to, hey, can you help us? Exactly. Yes. Because there is a lot that goes into being an Idaho National Guard man or woman, a military person in general, whether it's currently serving, veteran, retired, it doesn't matter, right? There's a lot that goes into that. And there's a lot of that goes into the family piece of it as well. So what we try to do, one of my biggest goals is helping Idaho National Guard families understand the village that exists for them on Gowan Field. So I don't come from a military background. I call him my brother from another mother. He was the one that called me one day and said, there's this job that has your name written all over it. I was like, I'm not looking for a job.
Not looking for a job.
I work Monday through Friday banking right now. Yeah. Like, why would I want to do that? Anyway, so then him and his wife kept pushing me. And I was like, fine, I'll look into it. I had no idea what MWR was. Well, military and children, those are my things. Like, we got to take care of our children so that we have a good future. And we need to take care of our military because without our military, we don't have our future, right? Like, that's just kind of how I go. Anyway, that
seems horribly rational.
I know.
Just wild.
So it's just like when I took this role as the director of the MWR, it was very new. Military was very new to me. I'm from Idaho. I live 8 minutes away from Gowan Field, was raised there, and had been on that base maybe twice. So it was almost shameful as an Idahoan to be like, I don't really know what we have out here, but we do have 4 different branches of the military out there. We have so many programs, nonprofit programs on base that are beneficial to any piece of the military. It doesn't matter. And then there's also programs that don't exist on Gowan Field that I try to partner with Mountain Home Air Force Base to make sure that they do exist, that our air guards or, our air guardsmen and women or Army or whoever can take advantage of all these different programs, because there's the government money and then there's the other monies. So you have to be able to, knowledge is power, right? And there's a village behind every single uniform. But where's the village? And how do the families know about the village? Especially M-Day soldiers, right? Their families don't generally know what's
an M-Day soldier?
Weekend warriors, drill. So they don't work on Gowan like Monday through Friday. They just come once a month and then 2 weeks out of the year for AT and then get deployed or whatever the case may be. So that's an M-Day soldier. So most of those family members might not be aware of all these phenomenal resources and programs that are available to them because they are family of a soldier or airman. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I try to push all that. I try to make sure everybody knows.
What are some of the examples of the programs that are available to them?
So there is Support and Family Services. And Support and Family Services, and I'll probably miss one or mess it up, but Support and Family Services there's a nonprofit side, and then there's the Guard and Reserve Support and Family Services side. So, and I probably said them wrong, even though I work very closely with them. They are
can I
a
tell you
part of my
something?
mission.
I just had a gal on here that came in to talk about the Snake River Stampede Rodeo, and I said the Nampa Rodeo. She's like, "It is the Nampa Rodeo." I'm like, "Well, why isn't it just called that?" And then I had Sebastian Griffin, so one of the city councilmen out of Nampa, on, and he invited me to the Nampa Rodeo. I was like, Sebastian was on, like Sebastian called the Nampa Rodeo, and she's like, "I don't remember him being there," so I called him during the conversation. And it was like, Sebastian, you called it the Nampa Rodeo. He's like, I invited you to the Caldwell Rodeo.
And they've all changed over the years.
They changed. And I'm like, okay, but you're the councilman in Nampa and you invite me to the Caldwell Rodeo. Like, I was like, oh, forget it. I'll call you back later. I was like, I botched. So like, you just listen to me. If you want to get down on yourself for screwing up some names, join the club.
Remember that whole acronym thing? The whole acronym conversation?
It's so bad. Yeah.
So many.
So bad. Anyway, so look, you have the nonprofit and the for-profit.
Yes. So all of the nonprofits are, well, and even not just the nonprofit, the resources that are available, right? There is financial health management, there is mental health resources. There's financial, like if as a guardsman you or woman, you find yourself in a financial situation, you can apply for assistance. Like that's all part of NGB, National Guard Bureau, right? And those are some of the resources that are available through Support and Family Services. And then there's the nonprofit side as well. We all of us come together to pull off. Have you ever heard of a yellow ribbon event?
Yellow ribbon event?
Uh-huh.
No.
So yellow ribbon is, again, I hadn't either till 3.5 years ago.
You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
I feel like you learn every day too.
I do every day. So yellow ribbon, whenever a soldier, airman, whatever, whenever they're going to deploy, there's a yellow ribbon event. There's a pre-deployment, and I believe they're required pre-deployment and post-deployment yellow ribbon events. And at the yellow ribbon events, the soldier or airmen are educated on, hey, make sure you switch over your insurance. Hey, make sure you do all of these things prior to going on deployment so that your family is taken care of.
Right.
And we always include the spouses so that they're a part of it too. And then we generally try to host a mid-deployment with just the family members. So we've done things like paint and sips. We've planted little plants and done pancake feeds, and we do all kinds of stuff to try and make sure that those villages, that those families know the village. And when we do these yellow ribbon pre, mid, or post deployments, we have the resources available. The resources are not there to be like, hey, let me sign you up with this, right? The resources are there to say, hey, you know what? I'm here while your husband or wife is deployed. I'm here to, if you have questions about doing your taxes, if you're having questions about, you're having some mental health issues and you need to have counseling, or we're here to help you. Like there's so much suicide prevention. There's so much available, different kinds of education. And then we're here, the MWR, Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. Again, that's a huge umbrella of things that we, as the Idaho National Guard MWR, can cover, right? You want to come over and let's have what did we just have? Pizza and beer night, right? So pizza and beer, come on over. Let's have a pizza and beverage, whatever the case may be. We want to go to the zoo. Let's go to the zoo. Like we do anything. And then welfare, again, huge, right? That can be health, financial, mental. It doesn't matter. That all falls under all of these things. And then recreation. One of the things that is a goal for our program is being able to provide paddle boards, kayaks, bikes, fishing poles, camping gear, stuff like that. Because I don't know if you're aware, we have, and I'm not even going to say, we have a school on Gowan that active duty and guard and reserve come from all over the United States, and they stay for anywhere from 2 weeks to 9 weeks, right? And they take these classes. Well, when these folks come, we have a beautiful state, but they generally fly here. They don't know what to do outdoorsy or what to do with their time when they're not actually in class, right? So I want to be able to provide them, hey, it's paddleboarding season. You want to check out a paddleboard? We'll tell you where to go. So that's like some of my goals that I would like to see us be able to provide, and not just to the students that come from out of state, but to anybody. What if, Soldier Joe has never been on a paddleboard or doesn't have access to a kayak or whatever, and he wants to just try it? Well, he's a soldier. He should be able to try that. Like, he shouldn't have to go buy it. We should be able to provide that. So when recreation, that's kind of my big thing. We take care of the equipment for the softball fields, the volleyball, the racquetball. Like, we provide all of that kind of stuff.
Man, I bet your softball games get off the hook.
We just had a really fun one.
Oh my God.
We just did Air versus Army. And that way we did an Air versus Army softball showdown. So it was a good kickoff to the season of softball. We have a beautiful field. General Donnellan, the 2-star, he did the first pitch. He got out there and played on both sides. I took the t-shirts, and we had 2 sponsors because, again, I need to be able to finance that, right? So Knife River sponsored and First Command. So one sponsored Air, one sponsored Army, bought them each t-shirts. And then General Donnellan was like, I want to pitch. And I'm like, well, you're the 2-star of a joint base. What are we going to do? So I literally cut up 2 shirts, stitched them together, and he had a t-shirt on that was half Army and half Air.
It's like Two-Face.
It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. So now we're going to work on getting I would like to get a gallon-filled softball league because we have lots of civilians, the 4 different branches. Like, we could put together, I think, 5 or 6 teams and do a league and then have a tournament.
Man, I missed in my lifetime as an adult, I have missed the entire boat with like the adult recreation stuff. Like, first off,
You said you have 3?
I have 3 boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing. I've never worked in an organization. So I've never worked for like a company where they're like, hey, we're going to have the bowling league or like, we're going to have the softball league. And I also, like, my wife and I got together when we were not really, really young, but like 21, 22. And we worked in evenings, and because we were SAT tutors, and then we hung out during the day. Well, nobody is doing recreation stuff at like noon on a Thursday. No. And so every time we would get invited to do something at like, 7 o'clock on Tuesday night, it's like, oh, I'm working. So like, we missed all of the, what are we going to do? Cause we're like our mid-20s and we're bored. It's like, no, I'm at work. Like,
well, you can come play softball when we get this league going, because that would be fun.
What about like kickball? Can you guys like an adult kickball league? Like get some soccer players in there?
Oh, the big one right now is, maybe I shouldn't say no to soccer, but everyone wants to do pickleball. I'm like, we just got racquetball set up. Go play that.
Racquetball's from the 80s, bro.
Racquetball is so much fun.
I know.
And it'll kick your butt.
I love racquetball. Yeah. But here's the thing with racquetball. You get those guys who have like a really good shot, and they just stand in the middle and they're like, boop. And then it's like pickleball, everybody's equalized because everybody's like equally terrible.
I love tennis, and I haven't played pickleball yet.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into the pickleball either. I feel like it's one of those obsessive things. Like if you start playing golf, it's over. I feel like it's the same thing with pickleball.
I can't do the golf thing. I've tried.
I tried a couple times too.
It's a great spot to meet people though. And we do have our big...
It's a great spot to meet alcoholics.
No, there's some that golf without drinking. Like we have
They're probably bad like me.
We have our big annual, it's called Scramble for Warriors, and that's the Idaho National Guard Golf League. And the MWR, we come together and do a big fundraiser for the MWR so that we can put more money into our donations account.
Listen, I think golf is a great way to fund things. I had a buddy back home who literally just, his entire thing was he had survived cancer, and he made I think it was like testicular cancer or something else, but it was have a ball. Right, because he had lost one of his testicles. So he had a ball golf tournament and then like big auction night and everything. And his entire thing was annually setting up this golf tournament. And he raised like millions of dollars a year.
Yes.
Yeah, with missing a ball. Anyway, the point is Bob Hammer, he crushed, man. That was his whole jam. But he, like his whole life, professionally was wrapped around this, getting sponsors, getting promoters, getting people engaged. And it was this great thing. I'm just terrible at golf. It's like I can't.
I am too.
Yeah, but maybe it was the people I was hanging. But the point is, no matter what, I never feel like I get a workout, and it takes forever. Like that is a leisure activity that it's like you have to not want to sweat.
There's no workout in golf.
There's no workout. You got to lose your whole day. You're gonna lose the best time of your day. I can't. Like if I get an hour. Let's say I get an hour to work out. I can't. I got to be doing like a lot of things, and it's like as condensed as possible.
Yep.
Yeah,
no, golf is not a workout.
No, but I feel like softball, at least with softball, there's no premise where it's like, a sport where you're going to sweat. It's like softball. It's like,
you could, or you could not.
Yeah,
you can definitely drink and play. Like or you can not drink and play. Like our Army versus Air, it was fun. We didn't get to do softball last year because the field was being redone. So no softball happened last year. And my next big goal is I would love to have a heroes versus heroes tournament. So first responders versus military would be spectacular. So I'm kind of trying to plant the seed on that. I have spoke to somebody who's done that type of a tournament before. My son and his wife are super softball. Like they play every weekend, all weekend long. So they're in that community. But wouldn't it be awesome?
Sound really fun. How old are these people?
They are. Well, 29 and 30.
Yeah, I knew it. Like they didn't miss that boat. I missed the boat.
They did not. And they take their kids, my grandchildren, in tow with them everywhere they go.
Dude, I want to.
Yep.
They're living the life I want. Well,
you're not too old.
I am. I'm 43. I'm already committed to like other
quite
things.
a bit of years on you.
Listen,
you're not too old.
I'm just telling you, like, I don't know enough people to get into like I don't have coworkers.
Listen,
I'm not part of an association.
We could chat. There's lots. You don't have to be. There's lots.
It's fine. But like, again, with this Heroes versus Heroes, I know a lot of like chiefs of police and sheriffs and things like, so if you want help connecting people, I'd be more than happy to help connect.
So awesome.
Yeah. It would be awesome.
Yes.
You got to get like the Canyon County paramedics and stuff down there too.
Well, and that's just it. Like I don't just want it to be police officers, right? I want first responders versus the military. I don't want it to just be Army or just be Air. I want first responders versus the military. I think it'd be so much fun. And apparently one has happened around here before. Not in my time on Gowan, but one has happened historically.
You can do this.
Oh, I will.
I believe in this.
I absolutely will.
Yeah.
We did the air show. We could pull off the air show. We could pull off a Heroes versus Heroes tournament.
When was the air show?
2023.
Man, I missed that.
Fingers crossed. We have another one in 27.
How difficult is it to put on an air show?
Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, my Lanta.
And my team, I've been asking every year. I'm like, hey, can we do another air show? And then Gowan's like, we're not ready. I'm like, but I want to. There's a lot. There's a lot of lift from all the branches on Gowan, from everybody. There's a lot of lift from Gowan because we have to share the airport. There's a lot of lift from the city of Boise for that air show. Like, there's a lot of money goes into that. Not to me.
No,
but
for
to
them,
everybody else.
It's like they got out of a traumatic relationship and they're like not ready to go on a date yet.
Yeah. There was 151,000 people that came to Gowan Field over 3 days for that air show.
That's a lot of people.
Oh, it was insane.
I could see what they mean.
And I don't think I slept. I don't think my team slept. I don't think the military slept. I think we pulled it off. It was stellar. And when you talk to everybody that was there, we hear nothing but rave reviews.
And exhaustion.
And exhaustion, yeah. And most of them look at me and they're like, don't say it. Don't say it. We have PTSD. I'm like, no, air show, Gowan Thunder. And everyone's like, Jessica, stop. My team especially is like, stop it.
Well, 2027, man, I'm there.
Open.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we got to start planning and start coming up with a plan and present to the tag and see if we can do it.
There's one of the reasons I asked Nick Edwards about this specifically because especially around Memorial Day, Veterans Day, all of these things, it's like, hey, thank you for your service, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Right. And I had a buddy in the Marines. We went to college together and then he joined the Marines afterwards. And he really introduced me to that. He was like, it's not always like you get people that are just like feverish about like, think of that. Like, oh my, and they get like really intense about it. Right. And he helped me understand that it's like, that's not always well received. And it's not, and for the people that do it, I know that that sentiment is good, but I've heard people say that it's like, look, it's really for the person saying thank you. Mm-hmm. They're not doing it for the vet always.
50-50 chance.
Right. It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I asked, it's like, okay, what can people actually do then to support vets and our current servicemen and women and their families? And that's when he brought up you. He was like, listen, there's an organization that really helps. So for people that want to help and contribute. You are a fantastic avenue for those people, either with volunteerism or, time, treasure, talent, whatever you might be able to help. And how do people get involved? Like, say I wanted to volunteer, say I wanted to bring some of my sons to volunteer or for events. What would I do?
So we have our website.
Okay.
You can always reach me. And fortunately, my cell phone number is all over the United States.
There you go.
And it is what it is, right? So we have our website, and it's just idngmwr.com. And you can go on there.
So again, IDNGMWR.com. So Idaho National Guard, Morale, Welfare, and Recreation.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
.com.
So then you can go in there. We have a volunteer tab. So you can register to be a volunteer for just anything. You just want to, hey, I want to put my time into helping with something. And then whenever we've got something coming up, we'll just reach out and say, hey, we've got this coming up. We could use some help with setup, or we could use some help with the pancake feed, or whatever the case may be. And then if you're okay with me sharing your information with other military organizations, because it's not just MWR, right? We've got all the different organizations on Gowan, but there are a lot of military supporting organizations in Idaho, and we all work together. So whenever we have, we've got this network, right? This pool of different things. If somebody needs a place to stay, if they're a veteran or military and they're going through a tough time and they need a place to stay, generally I'll get a call and be like, okay, well, let me check with lodging. And we'll help that person out, or veterans that need help moving. There are organizations, I don't know if you've heard of Joining Forces.
I have not.
I need to get you onto them. So Joining Forces is all of these veterans and military organizations that come together as one. And we have a monthly meeting every month at our Rally Point Club and Events, and then an annual meeting. And it's just all the organizations of Idaho, and not all of them, but whoever wants to be a part of that, so that we can all help, whether it's, a divorced spouse, a widowed spouse, a child, whatever the case may be. And on base, we have child and youth program. We have Starbase. I mean, we have so many things. So we just all network together. But on our website, you can donate, you can sign up to volunteer, you can just sign up to get newsletters. My marketing person, she sends out every month, here's what's open to the public. And when I say to the public, it's not a private event, right? So our website will send you a thing every month that tells you we do blood drives every 3 months, that kind of thing. So that monthly newsletter will tell you anything that we're doing. We do the Easter egg extravaganza for the kids. We do trunk or treat for the kids, backpack drives, stuff like that.
Man, that's a lot.
It's fun.
So, and that is a direct way where it's like, listen, if you really want to go forward and help, here you go. Here's a great organization that's designed, it's organized, it's ready to go, it's plug and play. And this is a direct line to help and support our military servicemen and women. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. And then if somebody wants to make a donation and they want to make it directly through that, well, they can always request for me to reach out to them or to contact, or they have any questions or whatever. And then they can also just make a donation directly through that website, and they can say they want it to go to the chaplains, or they want it to go to a military child in need, or they don't have a preference where it goes, as long as it goes to the military.
Gotcha.
Yep. Because there's all the different organizations that help different pieces. We have Quad A, which is in aviation, and we have air. We have all kinds of stuff.
I gotta come out. And see.
You should come out.
Stuff.
Yeah, you should, absolutely.
Yeah, do some softball, something or other.
There's lots to do.
Cheer.
Come see the Blackhawks, the A-10s. Come check it out.
Dude, where's the invite?
You a tour.
Give me a tour. I'll take a tour.
We'll put it on the calendar.
I'm not gonna invite myself.
I'll invite you.
I just went over to Idaho National Labs, and it's talk about in Eastern Idaho, right? Nuclear.
Oh, yep. I know what you're talking about now.
And I had the experience very similar to you. Not that I grew up right next to INL, but I've driven past it, going on family trips, and then going out and seeing. You're like, this is here. That's a nuclear reactor, and it's on. Yeah. Can I look in?
Exactly.
Right. At one point I was over this giant pool, this cooling tank, and they're like, look down, see those 2 cylinders? I looked down over, and there's this purple blue glow on the ground. They're like, those are rods. They're emitting right now. I was like, right there? I went in there's this hot room that I can't remember exactly what they're called, but it's where you take nuclear materials and run tests on them, manipulate them through a window. Now, mind you, the window is 4 feet of leaded glass. Okay.
So there's no chance.
Once they build it and shut it, you never go back in there. Right. So they have this one that they showed me that's like 50, it got shut 50 years ago and like nobody's been in for 50 years. And it's like the craziest, dirtiest teenage room you've ever seen. Cause like the only way they interact with the inside are these mechanical arms. Cause that's what they had in the 70s that are literally like wires and stuff. And you have like this grip and it's like a claw that goes around like this. And they're writing things with these. They like pick up Sharpies that they put in there and they write on like these duct tape bags that they're carrying the nuclear material in. And it's like this. Yeah. Anyway, so I got to go inside one that hadn't been turned on yet. And it was like, I got to set up a Jenga set. They're like, use the arm. What? Yeah. And it was like, it's this wild thing, but it's like, I can't believe this is here. And nobody knows about it. They're like, yeah, like I had to get a pass, and like they have their own private security system. They're like, that guy is not messing around. Like he's got 50 pounds of stuff on right now. It's like,
see, I think I'd be out of my comfort zone on that one.
Yeah, it was wild. But again, like I'm not going to invite myself. You got to invite me.
I will invite you. We're going to play some. We'll set something.
It's going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah,
it would be great.
Yeah, this weekend there's some spouse appreciation stuff going on Sunday, which is pretty exciting.
I wonder if my spouse is going to appreciate it this weekend.
Military, let me rephrase that. Military spouse appreciation.
Well, I hope they appreciate each other. Marriage is tough.
Yeah. Yes. We have chaplains to help with that.
Oh my God. What, get married or deal with it?
Both.
I can't believe I just said deal with it. That was the worst line ever. I need some more coffee. I love you, honey. I went to a thing the other day because I never go out. Like I come to the studio, I interview people, and then I go home.
Okay.
And so I go to this graduation thing the other day, and somebody's like, nobody's ever seen your wife and kids. Like, we don't even know if you have them. Like, you're like, no, I promise I do. But like, these are worlds that don't mix.
Right? Exactly.
Like, it's just, there's a separation there. Like, I'm not gonna anyway, it doesn't matter.
Which is important.
It is important. Like, like I have the burden when I go out. If somebody recognizes me, it's like, okay, like I knew this was coming, but my kids didn't sign up for that. Well, my wife didn't sign up for that. Like
my other half is like, oh my gosh, really? I'm like, sorry.
It's kind of like my jam.
Sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Listen to me. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and talking about this.
Absolutely.
I'd love to come out and see the base and chat with some people. Again, it's what's interesting? It's when we talk about supporting our, law enforcement and our servicemen and women, a lot of people support them in sentiment.
Yep.
But not a lot of people actually support them. Like in this state, we don't support, for instance, law enforcement with a lot of positive legislation. We don't support them with a lot of funding. We don't support them we support them with like the thin blue line flag, and we say rah, rah. And at some point, I think we need real support of these agencies that keep us safe. And I think having something like this is wonderful. I don't know of any similar program or organization for law enforcement. If I find out about one, I'll absolutely showcase them as well and have them on, because this is something where it's like, look, you can support people. There is something you can do. Yep. And, because I don't think from a policy standpoint, I don't think that's something that we're going to get in this state. So again, like direct lines where it's like people, as cliche, people helping people.
But it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, like 100%. If we don't have volunteers and we're not being able to support our military or our first responders, then what's going to happen with us, right? Like there's so much more to putting on the uniform. That's the way I look at it. There's just so much more to them putting on the uniform. And there's far more than thank you for your service. Like, honestly, when I first started, I was saying thank you for your service a million times, right? And then somebody did say, Jessica, just stop. Like, you're here. Now push forward, right? So I was like, okay. So thank you for our service. Saying it is good. It can be offensive, but it's just like that saying, you never know what somebody's dealing with. So be careful. What is that? How does that go? Where you don't know what someone's dealing with, so don't be rude to them, or however that works. Yeah, I can't think of it. Anyways, so it's the same thing with thank you for our service, right? And a lot of them, their family, it is just, it's not just the soldier, but it is the soldier. So you have to consider all of that. So if you want to come help us serve holiday meals, then come help us hand out Thanksgiving dinners, because we do all of those things. There's a group of air folks that hand out food to military families in need every single month. Every month. And the community provides that food. So it's those kinds of things and these other organizations that I'm talking about outside of Gowan. Like, I'm just one small piece of it. One small piece of that network. There is a lot. I actually feel, because I lived in Oregon for 15 years, right? Idaho is far more supportive of their military than Oregon ever was. And so I love to see that. I am working with Oregon right now with the Oregon Air Guard and the Oregon Army Guard to create an MWR program over there like ours. They have a program, but it's ran by a corporate organization. So the amount of money that goes back into them is nothing compared to what we go back into them.
Yeah, that's a problem. But for profit.
Exactly.
For profit things. Yeah.
Exactly. And ours is completely nonprofit. And like I said, if I can't hand them money to do something, then I either go find a sponsor for it or my team steps up and we do it. Like, it's that kind of a thing. We're helping the Battle of the Bands. We have, because our 25th Army Band does a Battle of the Band for the community. The 25th Army Band is to do things in the community, right? So we're on our third Battle of the Bands, and it is community bands competing against each other. And then we come up with some voting and we give them prizes, and it's fun. Last year we did it at the Egyptian Theater, and we're going to do it again this year. That's awesome. And it's so much fun, but it costs money that unfortunately, the military doesn't have to provide. So I go get sponsors.
That's
and
awesome.
That's how we take care of it. Because that's the military giving to the community.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You'll have to come check it out.
Yeah, my head's kind of spinning with
and check out our website.
Yeah.
Like, we put pictures on there. We share some of the fun stuff that we do on there. And of course we have Facebook. I don't do it, but
I don't do it.
I don't mess around. I mess that. I'm like, here, can you do this for me, Scott? She's like,
I was talking to somebody about Facebook today. It's a hot mess. Anyway, Jessica, thank you for coming on today.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to just hit here at the end? Check out the website, get involved. This is an opportunity to really support.
That's the big thing. Just reach out. If you have an hour and you want to spend some time, that's fantastic. We seem to always be hiring. Well, that's not fair to say. We're hiring right now. So, and our application is on our website. Just help. And to your point, don't just say thank you. Like, help. Yeah. There's lots to be done.
Awesome.
So, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you for coming on. Let's do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have you on base.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Bye.